this isn't really going to be a rant or anything. It's just going to be me talking. So, yeah, I don't know if this will really be a very entertaining video, but whatever. First Miiverse video in a long, long time. Yeah, I think my last Miiverse video was what, April, May? I forgot. But it definitely has been a while. And if you remember when my channel was just focused on Miiverse, yeah. But what have I said to you that I miss Miiverse? Now, don't start freaking out and say, how could you miss it? How? I mean, you're the person who always criticized it and said you would never come back and showed off all your ridiculous bans and yada yada yada. Say how much you hate it. I don't miss it in the sense that I would come back permanently and start posting regularly again. That will never ever happen ever again. But what I'm trying to get at here is I miss when it was actually a really fun place to be in. Now, I know Miiverse has always been kind of bad with the admins and all the stupid rules and all that, but put that all aside, it was still pretty fun to be on. I would constantly check notifications. I would make a bunch of posts in one day, and back when just the very thought of just being on Miiverse again really, really made me happy. I mean, I loved Miiverse. Like, well, yeah, I was getting banned for ridiculous reasons and getting a bunch of reports, but that didn't really bother me. I still love the place. I still love talking to a bunch of people, and it was a lot of fun. And now when I go on it, sometimes I check notifications. It's not like I actually replied any comments or anything. I only talk to people in private messages on Miiverse now, but just going on Miiverse kind of depresses me, especially going on the activity feed, because I see a bunch of dead accounts made by people I used to talk to on a daily basis. Some of those people haven't even posted since 2014. I mean, just looking at that just made me a bit sad, because those were people I had really fun speaking to, and every time I remember talking to those people, it was just a very happy memory. And seeing that they haven't been active in some of them haven't been active in almost 2 years, it really it makes me a bit sad, actually, seeing all those dead accounts that used to be so lively, so active, like posting every day and would actually talk to me on a daily basis. I mean, it really bums me out. It really does. Now I understand things can happen. People just move on, or maybe they sold their Wii U, 3DS, whatever they owned. But yeah, it still really does make me sad to see that there is a chance that I'll never ever speak to some of those people again. And even the people who are still active, when I see them post, they don't post nearly as much as they did like 2 years ago, and it kind of bums me out that some of those people I'll never get the chance to speak to again, because I just refuse to use Miiverse, and I don't know. I've never really been good at starting a conversation. I don't know. It's just something I've always had. Even on the internet, I'm not good at starting conversations. I usually wait till people go and talk to me, but yeah. For me personally, 2014 was the best year of Miiverse. Now, I've had a bunch of people say, no, 2013 was the best. No, well, for me, it was 2014, because that was when I started to get noticed, and that was when I started getting quite a bit of friends on Miiverse, and a bunch of people talked to me. My posts were getting more yes than usual. I've been getting like 5 followers a day. It was a lot of fun. And again, just being on Miiverse was such a fun time. Talking about things I hate on Miiverse. Yeah. For those of you who didn't know me on Miiverse, I was a ranter on there too. Well, kind of, but I've also gotten a lot of enemies on Miiverse. A bunch of people didn't like that I posted a lot of posts talking about the stuff I hate. They're like, "Why don't you talk about something you like?" And I'm like, well, you don't have to view my profile. You're the one who willingly went on my profile and read a bunch of my posts. And a few popular people didn't like me either around that time. Around, like, summer 2014, I think. I was making a bunch of anti-Yeah Bomber posts, and some popular users got pissed at me. And it was just fun. It was actually kind of fun to piss off those popular users, but yeah, Miiverse does depress me now. I mean, ever since that hard update, it's just never been the same. Even since like the early 2015, it's never really been the same. I noticed that some friends just weren't posting as much or weren't talking to me as much. I was still posting on there regularly in early 2015, and then I started getting banned a bunch of times. My main account got perma banned, and that's when I just stopped posting regularly on Miiverse. I mean, I still kind of did a little bit before I left. I was posting like almost every day. I think I did like one post every 3 days or something. It wasn't anywhere near as I wasn't anywhere near as active on Miiverse as I was when I first started it. But I was still somewhat active, and then that update came, and I'm like, you know what, I'm done with this site. I don't want to come back. But over a year has passed since that update, and I'm like, you know what, maybe I might actually make another post. And then I think in my mind, you know what, that's a retarded idea. People are going to call you out on it, say, hey, in your video you said you never make another post. And I keep debating that in my mind, whether or not maybe I should make one post just for fun. Even if I do that, do not expect me to chat with you on Miiverse, okay? Do not expect that. I'll just make a post like saying, oh wow, the site is dead, and then just drop off Miiverse once again. But just so what I'm trying to get at here is Miiverse really does depress me, if you didn't get that already from what I've said throughout this entire video. But in general, like, the very thought of Miiverse just depresses the hell out of me. It takes me back to a time where I was very social. My social anxiety was almost non-existent. I would talk to a bunch of people. I had a lot of friends in real life, and I wasn't afraid to go up and talk to them. Well, I still preferred, like, them starting a conversation with me, but even when I just wanted to go up and talk to someone, I didn't really have much of an issue. Yeah, bits and pieces of my social anxiety did kind of pop up, and yeah, I did get kind of quiet and shy at some points, but overall, 2014, that my social anxiety wasn't a problem at all. I wasn't constantly sad and down and depressed like I am now. I mean, I mean, I think it's kind of safe to say that 2014 was probably one of the best, or if not the best year of my life so far. I mean, I'm sure I'll probably have many more good years to come, but I mean, some of 2015 was pretty good. Like the first half when I was still in middle school, I was still social and everything, but I don't know, it's just something wasn't really, it just wasn't as good as 2014 for some reason. I don't know, I can't really explain it, but yeah. And that's why Miiverse depresses me, and that's why I kind of miss it. I miss it when it was fun. I miss it when all my friends were on there. When I would talk to a bunch of people. But now, just thinking about it and going on it just to check notifications, I get this big cloud of sadness. Well, bigger cloud of sadness over my head, and it just takes me back to that time where it just takes me back to a year where I wish I could go back to and just relive, because whenever I think of 2014, I think of a kick-ass year and where I had a ton of fun. I was really social, and just being on Miiverse was a blast. Yeah, I had the channel then too, but the YouTube channel, well, my YouTube channel wasn't anything like it is now. It was just kind of a thing I did on the side, and it hardly got any views or anything. I didn't even think I was gonna use it regularly or even gain a following, but yeah, that was when but yeah, 2014 was when I met a lot of friends and when I started YouTube. And you all know who inspired me. Well, speaking of that, I think Original Blood Ice it did kind of have an impact on my, why I have a following on YouTube. Yeah, I know, I said I've been inspired by him. Well, he was one of my inspirations on YouTube, but also, I met a bunch of I've met and became friends with a lot of his fans, even back when I was cool with OBA. Like, they'd be like, oh, you're that guy who comments on Original Blood Aces videos. And I think even OBA gave me a few shout-outs on some videos, and I've made some small cameos in a lot of his videos, but they would be like, oh, you're that guy who got that cameo in one of Original Blood Aces videos, or Original Blood Ace mentioned you in a video, and, you know, if there was one thing I could thank him for, it would be that. So, yeah, I guess he did some good, right? But, anyways, this video isn't about him, but in a nutshell, Miiverse really does bring me down these days when I just think about it, and, yeah, even doing this video kind of puts me down. So, anyways, I'm gonna do something fun to get my mind off this. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.